we are live here on YouTube for some good old NASCAR racing. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic time. I am just trying to find USA Network. Why is it gotta be alphabetical? Because that means U is gonna be all the way to the bottom. But yeah, we are here for the Iowa Corn 350 as we are getting ready for this one. Welcome on in. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic Sunday here. We are doing fantastic as well. And yeah, we've got ourselves a good race going, or getting ready to go at least. Actually, two good races, because we also will have, simultaneously, we will have the NTT IndyCar Series race starting shortly after our race begins. So we'll try and follow both races, but obviously priority will be put on the Iowa Corn. On the Iowa Corn 350. So there we go. Alright, also just let me know if the air is too much in the background. It's obviously really warm here, so I will not apologize for having the air on, but if it is too loud, just please let me know. But other than that, we are getting set and ready to go racing here today. Alright, let's go ahead and get my phone set up here. I can read chat on my phone rather than having to keep it up on my computer, although I will also keep it up on my computer. Alright, so there we go. We are all set and ready for this one. So welcome on in, welcome in. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day here. Man. And say it was a nice off week. We didn't have any racing last weekend. No Truck Xfinity, Truck O'Reilly or Cup Series. Man, it's been a while since I made that mistake. But yeah, no Truck O'Reilly or Cup Series racing last week. So it's been all these drivers have had a week to rest. Time to see which one of these drivers can do the most with what they got. Obviously, Hendrick Motorsports desperately needed this off week to reset as they just went, I believe, 3 straight weeks of not having a top 10 finisher in the company with 4 cars, which is relatively unheard of for Hendrick Motorsports' level of historic success. They do have Kyle Larson starting on the outside of the front row, so maybe he can break that streak, but I've not seen where the other Hendrick drivers are qualified. Let's take a quick peek. Oh, Mike McDowell just outside the top 10. Let's go. Okay, we got 19th for Byron. We got Bowman in 30th and Elliott back in 32nd. So, we got a long way. We got a long day ahead for a lot of these guys. Obviously, with it being a short race short track race, we are expecting that there will definitely be some there will be some definite problems with traffic, as has been the problem pretty much the entire next gen era here. Is that these short tracks always seem to have an air problem where there's just too much turbulence in dirty air, and the leaders have a very easy time controlling the field. Although we saw that at Indianapolis too last week, which is not a short track by any stretch. But yeah, we've definitely seen turbulence problems throughout the next gen era, and it has felt extremely rough on the shorter flat tracks. Yeah, here in Iowa, New Hampshire has had this problem. Martinsville has had this problem. Richmond's kind of fallen plague to it as well. So, as I say, it has definitely been a problem across multiple tracks, and I would be shocked if the racing is significantly better. But hey, that's why we run the races, right? And I say we certainly don't do we don't practice for it anymore to improve the track. All right, well, we are set up and ready for this one. Don't try and serve them an ad yet, YouTube. Come on. You know better than that. But yeah, here we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a fantastic time here. Alright, we're just chilling though. Hopefully, everybody is having a fantastic day here. I'm trying to find a good balance as to where to aim the air so it's not blowing too much in the microphone, but it's blowing plenty at me. Yeah, so as I mentioned, though, we're gonna be getting into this one. We got Blaney on the pole position. I think he's my favorite for the race. I believe he's Vegas's favorite to win this one. Although I think at one point during the off week, I think I saw Denny Hamlin was favored to win Iowa. So he certainly didn't qualify very good. So we'll have to wait and see. Hey Kenneth, how's it going? Oh, you're doing well. Thoughts about the new NASCAR rules? I assume you're referring to the stage caution rule, which I didn't watch the O'Reilly race yesterday, so I don't know how it was in practice. I've always said that you kind of need to see rule changes in practice before you can really grade them one way or the other. But I'm very much open to the idea of looking into ways to reduce the number of caution laps, especially at the big tracks where a caution lap on its own can be super long. Because, like, Indianapolis, a caution lap is like, what, 5 to 8 minutes per lap, and you're essentially running a half hour under caution for a simple, for any simple yellow, which is just grueling. Who do I got? As I said a moment ago, I think Blaney's probably the favorite for the next 3 weeks. Now, it's not to say I think he's going to win all three, but I think there's a good chance he wins at least two out of these three. So I'll take him to win this one, miss at Richmond, and then win at New Hampshire in 2 weeks' time. Reminds me, I need to put in my time off for New Hampshire. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I said it's not like I don't understand why the cautions are long. It's just that if you can avoid having, because like they had a caution, went one lap of green flag racing and then another caution. So from the sounds of it, it sounds like that's the situation they're trying to avoid. Because if you have two cautions with only one lap of green flag racing in between, then you're putting a 20-minute break and a 20-minute break, yeah, with only one lap of action in the middle, which is not overly entertaining there. we go. Again, we're chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, so they're going through the starting grid, as we mentioned. Blaney on the front row. Larson on the outside of the front row, looking to try and break this really bad streak for Hendrick. Again, not even a top 10 is insane. I'm going to say Brad Keselowski trying to bump his way into that playoff picture. Between him and Logano, it's going to be a fight in and around that cut line for the final spot. Chase Elliott going to the rear of the field. Oh boy, uh-oh. I never figured out what, as a parents said Denny Hamlin wasn't on the list, but I'm seeing him just way down the list. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so they're going around doing pace slaps here, and we will be getting ready for this one here. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic time. We do have cars rolling on the track. We should be seeing the green flag here shortly. They're just doing the celebrity pace car ride along. Alright, so here we go. The field looks nice and doubled up. Are we going green already? Alright, here we go. Just waiting to see if that pace car is going to pull off to the pit lane here. Did you hear the 26 NASCAR 26 AMA? I don't know what AMA is, but here we go. Pace car is off. Green, green, green. Green flag's out. And Ryan Blaney is off and running out in front of this field. Kyle Larson on the inside. Larson's going to try and battle. Let's see. Can he dive deep enough up the inside of turn 3 to try and clear? No, Blaney actually gets a run off of turn 2 and is able to clear before they get the chance here. So there we go. Ryan Blaney out in front of the field. Larson to second. The duel is on for third between Ty Gibbs and Joey Logano. Gibbs on the high side, Joey Logano on the bottom. All right, there we go. All right, so again, Blaney out in front of the field. We got Larson to second. Ty Gibbs and Logano still battling it out for that third and fourth spot. Is that the young rookie? Is that the young rookie Connor Zilic up fighting inside the top 5? There he is. Connor Zilic, 19 years young, up into the top 5 here at Iowa Speedway. Welcome to the top 5, Connor Zilic. Austin Dillon in 6th. 7th is where we find Eric Jones. Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones. Reddick gets loose right in front of Eric Jones. Up into the fence. Tyler Reddick, one of the favorites to win the race today, and he is out on lap 4 with heavy damage. Ask me anything. Okay. I think I saw some of the news that came from that, but I didn't actually see the actual ask me anything thing. But oh man, did I put Reddick in my lineup? I think I did. I know Reddick was my pick for the win. That's gonna hurt my pick 'em. Hmm. Yeah, that was your pick. Yeah. It's a unfortunately because I didn't get a chance to pick Blaney because when the guy announced that we would be making our picks at 12 a.m. this morning, he in his announcement pick that we would be doing it instantly took Ryan Blaney, who was my pick to win the race instantly. All right, there we go. But yeah, let's check the fantasy lineup, see where we ended up after that. I did take Reddick, right? Which means I'm gonna have to use one of my two Blaneys here, and I'm gonna have to probably sit him at Richmond in order to not sit him at New Hampshire. Alright, so there we go again. They're hauling this one away. Yep. Oh, Jones is in reverse down pit road. Okay. The 45 has been towed to the garage. I would not be shocked if Eric Jones is not far behind him, but if he does try and fix it on pit road, we'll see if he can get it back out there and stay competitive. But I'm not overly hopeful for a return to the racetrack. Both those impacts looked like they were night ending. So yeah, there we go. Oh, they got Trevor Bain doing analysis from inside the pace car. That's pretty cool. I gotta say, I do of the two traditional broadcasters, Fox and NBC. I do think that NBC does the better job here. And yeah, there's Eric Jones with a major tire rub trying to get back to pit road. And it was spinning the car around, and I believe this is where he went and put it in reverse. And they go to commercial break. Yeah, Jones is out. Yep. I was not. I am not overly shocked by that. Again, that impact is one that pretty much always will end the day of a driver. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Currently under a caution flag here as we are cleaning up the first wreck of the day between Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones. Ty Gibbs did manage to get third place there before the caution flag came out. Zane Smith and Josh Berry both jump up into the top 10 following the crash. Carson Osavar, the young sophomore driver, sits just outside the top 10. And Osavar is having an amazing sophomore campaign. As a rookie last year, didn't look. I mean, he looked good, but not half as good as he looked this year. as I imagine if like 6 or 7 years ago you went and told someone that Spire Motorsports would have 2 drivers in points contention to point their way into the playoffs. No silly winning your in stuff. I guarantee you, nobody from 2019 would believe you if you told them that. If you had a time machine and went back and told them that. Because, Spire Motorsports was a complete joke of a team back then, but they've turned it around this year. Carson Hocevar, Daniel Suarez, both up in the. Granted, they both have wins, but they're both in points currently in position to point their way to the playoffs, which is insane. So, Carson Hocevar currently 5th in points. Daniel Suarez has dropped to 11th in points. Should, and the operative word being should, still be good enough to survive. But we will have to wait and see here. But so Eric Jones being just outside the cut line, that definitely hurts his chances. Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski both on the outside looking in, trying to bump their way in. Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, SVG, some of those first guys in. Their only win up to this point was an accidental win at Daytona in 2019. Exactly, yep. Exactly. Prior to this year, Talladega, when they got their second career win, and then with the number 7 car at Charlotte with the rain win. So as of right now, Preece sits 63 points out, Jones 74, Keselowski 76 points below the cut line. So we'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out at the end of this. But I'm kind of surprised. Was Keselowski behind those guys? Noticing that he's not up near the front like he was starting. Let's see. He's back in the 30s, so he must either had to start at the rear and I just didn't notice that he had to start there, or he was avoiding the wreck and dropped all the way back. But, the fact that Cindric is managing to hold on to an 8th place finish an 8th place running position as of right now, it gives him a good chance to advance for about a month from now. And we are coming down the final stretch. We got this week and 3 more weeks after that. We got today at Iowa. We got Richmond, New Hampshire, and Daytona remaining in the regular season from the NASCAR Cup Series. We're also coming up on 4 o'clock, so IndyCar Series action should be starting around about 4 o'clock. Again, we'll keep an eye on that, but our primary focus will be the NASCAR Cup Series. As here we go, choose cone. Blaney will choose the outside line, Larson to the inside, Ty Gibbs to the outside, Logano goes inside, Zilich to the outside, Dillon to the inside, pretty much every other spot taking outside, inside, outside, inside. When the lines are even, the outside line seems to be the preferred choice, but for the most part, it seems like just whatever line is shorter is the go-ahead. But here we go, 12 laps into a, say we got a 70-lap stage, and we got 2 longer stages to end it off. 350 laps the distance today. Around about 300 to 350 miles. And here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson once again. As we go, green flags out. We are back to racing. And here we go. Everybody's going to be trying to look to see if they can get around Kyle Larson any which way. It does not look like that will be a thing today, at least. As off turn 2, once again, Blaney is able to clear Kyle Larson. Larson jumps up into the outside line. Alright, so here we go again. Everybody's working their way through this one. Logano making a move on Larson for a second. There we go. Joe Logano with putting a hard charge on here. Ty Gibbs drops to 4th here. Let's see. I'm sure Ty Gibbs is waiting to see if he can jump back to the outside and take third back from Logano while he's trying to go for the second position. But yeah, they're showing this replay here of Joey Logano forcing the 5-car way up the track, going door to door, wheel to wheel here. There's not much the 5-car can do about where that 22 is putting himself, because the 5 on that outside line is in some very compromising positions. But at least as of right now, Joey hasn't really crossed over that line yet. So. All right, there we go. Man, Logano's still just barely keeping that door open. Meanwhile, Ty Gibbs is continuing to try and pounce here. And here comes Austin Dillon trying to get himself in the mix. Austin Dillon up into the 5th position, and he is really starting to lay down some good laps. Ooh. All right, there we go. Logano doing it again, locking in for the second half of the season. Yep. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to be enough for him to 1, stay in the playoffs, and 2, stay in contention throughout the postseason. Because even if he gets there, as like the 14 or 13 seed, it's going to be a long road to try and get back up there. Yeah, and obviously these short flat tracks are kind of Penske's specialty. There's only 2 of them in the entire playoffs. You got a race at Martinsville, and then you got the Phoenix semifinale. Are the only 2 tracks like this one in the playoffs. But yeah, here we go. It was a lot easier to rely on the second half of the season when you had the short flat ovals kind of sprinkled throughout the season, to the point where, hey, you could theoretically win nothing but the short tracks and power your way to a victory. You had New Hampshire or Gateway in the playoffs. You had Richmond or Darlington for a while. Then you had Martinsville and Phoenix in the final 2 rounds. So there was always a lot. There was always a lot of Talladega, where they're also strong at. Yep. Yeah, I mean, again, the schedule has always played out pretty favorably for Penske down the stretch. Now, it's not that other teams aren't good at them. It's just that Penske as a whole has been really good at the short tracks. Oh yeah, we're 22 laps in here, working our way through this one. Not a lot of change up inside the top few. Zane Smith and Ross Chastain dueling it out for the 7th spot, but that's about the only real major changes around here. Got Bubba Wallace taking over taking over the spot that was previously held by the 77 at Hocevar. You got Bell versus Stenhouse dueling it out for 12th or 13th. But all in all, we do not have a lot going on here. At least in the early goings, we kind of gotten into a single file rhythm here. Cindric slid way back from inside the top 10 all the way to 18th. Big slide there. Bubba Wallace up 13 spots from the start of the race. Denny Hamlin up 9. Gilliland up 7. Some of the biggest movers throughout the race. So Todd Gilliland up 7 spots up into the top 10, into 10th place at the current moment. But yeah, as of right now, though, Larson's been able to hang on to that second place position and just set the fastest lap of the afternoon up to this point. A great day for Larson if he can just put together a good solid run here. Speaking of guys who probably wish they could have put together a good solid run. So Tyler Reddick has been in absolute freefall mode since Alright, they're showing a replay of the Reddick crash. Yeah, so that Tyler Reddick crash definitely sets him and Jones both back a bit. He's been on pace to finish top 2 in the points, but now with Blaney up near the top, Blaney, as they currently run, has actually jumped Tyler Reddick in the points, and Ty Gibbs is only 5 points away from actually passing him himself. So. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, so we got Briscoe versus the 47 of Stenhouse here. So a lot of movement here on Stenhouse's front. Unfortunately, it seems like it's people passing him and not him passing people. Hocevar's gotten by him. Briscoe's about to get by him. Byron's going to want to get by him next. And just at the moment, it seems like Stenhouse is in the slightly unpreferred line here. All right, here we go. To the bottom goes Briscoe. Off the top line, though, Stenhouse is holding his own despite the inferior race car. Stenhouse is doing a good job of holding his own on that outside line. Here we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a fantastic day. 33 laps complete here. Everybody's kind of filing into lockstep here, and here comes Byron to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well. They're talking with Eric Jones, who is removed from the infield care center, released with no injuries, which is always what we look for first and foremost. But hate to see Eric Jones already out of the race so early on. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic time today. Alright, I'm seeing yellow flags. Are those or not yellow flags, but yellow markers on the banners? Are those drivers who are currently in the chase? I would have assumed that those would be drivers who were locked into the chase, and I see Larson, Logano, and Bubba Wallace, and I'm like, okay, I know Bubba isn't locked in, but he is above the line at the moment, so that must be what that marker is for. So, we got Blaney, Larson, Logano at the front of the field. In fact, 4 playoff drivers, if you include Ty Gibbs rocking the top 4 spots. Larson just trying to hang on there, but Ryan Blaney has jumped it out to a 4.5 second lead already. While we're at side by side, let's go ahead and pop it out to a multi-view with the NTT IndyCar race. Do 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 do. All right, let's see. Are you gonna include it under sports? I would hope so. All right, let's see. All right, I don't see it. Let's go ahead and IndyCar. All right, well, they're back from commercial break. Hamlin's up 12 spots now since the start of the race. Bubba Wallace up 12 spots from the start. Name we haven't talked about much at all. Bowman's making some real progress. And speaking of real progress, Christopher Bell knocking on the door of the top 10. Knocking on the door of the top 10 here for Christopher Bell. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, there is. Okay, so it's New York round 4 that we need to be looking for on the list because that's what's technically on the showing right now. Okay, so choose your multi-view in New York round 4. All right, here we go. Let's see. Uh, thoughts on the Lowe's comeback with Jimmy? I mean, hey, if that happens, I'm stoked for it. I'm not sure I'm convinced that that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that there's a much higher chance. I think we get. I still think there's a good chance we get something else other than that. All right. All right, come on. All right, there we go. Sorry, finally got that multi-view built. So I could have the IndyCar race and the NASCAR race side by side. 23 laps to go in stage number 1 as we're getting ready to cross the 50 lap mark. And Joey Logano powers his way around Kyle Larson. Seems like Larson might be fading a little bit here at the end of the first stage. Not sure what the plan is here. Obviously, it's too short of a track to try any sort of funky pit strategy here, but Larson does still hold the fastest single lap of the day, which would be an extra point for him if he does finish. If he does finish with that lap, but obviously someone else could set a faster one here later on in the race, so we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Here we go. We got we got Bubba versus we got Bubba Wallace dueling it out with factory teammate at Toyota with Chase Briscoe there. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. All right, there we go. All right, Christopher Bell jumps his way up into the top 10 with a pass on Todd Gilliland right there. There we go. We gotta love every pass we get because we don't get a lot of them here. So Christopher Bell continues to try and click off drivers one by one here. 18 to go. 18 laps to go here, working their way through this one. Blaney's starting to catch some lap traffic, trying to lap them before they get their lap back for free. Alright, here we go again. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody is having a good time. 17 laps to go here, and we are just working our way through this one. Again, that off week was nice, but it did definitely, at points, especially on Sunday, feel weird not having a cup race to go watch. A little bit of a schedule update. So, with next week's Richmond race, I believe it is a Saturday night race. I am unlikely to be able to stream that one. Yeah, 7 p.m. Saturday night. That one is just not going to happen. I've got a close friend's wedding I'm going to be at. So, yeah, I will not be here for that one, unfortunately. I love Richmond. It's one of my favorite tracks. And I'll be in person for New Hampshire. So, actually, ironically, this is our last traditional broadcast until Daytona at the end of the regular season in 3 weeks' time. And then a couple weeks after that, we'll be taking a week off as I will be out of town for the Bristol Motor Speedway race, and that, assuming my schedule doesn't change again, should be the last off week for us as a channel. Ironically, I love the Saturday night races, but for whatever reason, I'm out of town almost all the Saturday night events this entire year. So there we go. All right, we got Elliott looking up the inside here, trying to sneak his way through. Trying to hang on to that lead lap status, actually, because that is Ryan Blaney right in behind this group. And there's just a group of cars trying to hang on to this lead lap status. We got 13 to go. 13 more laps to try and survive here for these this cluster of drivers, including Chase Elliott, right at the tail end of the lead lap. Alright, so there we go. 12 to go. 12 laps remaining here for the NASCAR Cup Series Iowa 300. We might get caught in a really good time where IndyCar comes on right at the same time NASCAR goes to their stage break, which would be an amazing overlap here. Granted, I don't think the Cup race and the O'Reilly or in the IndyCar Series should overlap much at all. I mean, is it not that hard to figure out, okay, IndyCar starts at 1 p.m. or noon Eastern time, and NASCAR can start at 4 or 3:30. And then maybe you overlap the finish ever so slightly. But at least you run into this situation less. As opposed to trying to go head-to-head with two of the biggest racing series in the country. All right, that looks like Chris Buescher going a lap down, and now it's Chase Elliott side by side trying to hang on to that spot. Not sure who he's side by side with. Who is he? Let's see. That is Ryan Preece that he is side by side with. Yep, the 60 of Ryan Preece that Elliott is dueling side by side with to try and hang on to this lead lap status here. And Ryan Blaney now right on the back bumper of our fellow Ryan. All right, so here we go. Blaney manages to get by Elliott, and now he's trying to get by... Oh, and a big wiggle from Ryan Preece. Preece way up the track, and that's going to allow Blaney through, but it's also going to put Chase Elliott right back in free pass position here. with 7 laps to go. 7 laps to go here before the stage end, and Chase Elliott is in prime position to get the free pass and be right back on the lead lap. Everybody else is going to need a wave around. Or to just run faster than the leader. Alright, so again, we're just chilling out here. 6 laps to go. Again, no real close battles for position. I mean, the battle for the lead did get a little bit closer after Blaney hit lap traffic, down to only a 1.5 gap, as opposed to the 4-second gap that Blaney had before he hit lap traffic. But again, that'll be something that we'll get sorted out here at some point. Ross Chastain passes Connor Zilic, and now you've got Christopher Bell dueling it out with Zilic. Speaking of Toyota's dueling it out with Chevys, you got Ty Gibbs also going up against Kyle Larson here with 5 to go. Alright, so there we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody is having a good time. I say we're just working our way down towards the end of this one. Let's see. Kyle Busch will be in NASCAR 26, but he'll be like Jeff Gordon's Stewart's DLC in the Heat games. Yeah, that's unsurprising. I mean, I kind of a little bit surprising that he's not like a primary character because he did start the 2027 season or the 2026 season, but it also makes sense because again, he's not the driver that's going to finish out even the majority of the races. I mean, Austin Hill, I think, has already run more Cup races than Kyle Busch did to start the year, so here we go, dueling it out really hard for position. Why are they racing so hard for like 12th? It's Bubba Wallace versus Todd Gilliland just duking it out for like 12th or 13th here. I say, fighting really hard for it, but not sure what there was to gain. I say, at this point in the race, to be racing like that. There we go. Green and white checker. Blaney, Logano, Larson, Gibbs. So Larson holds off Ty Gibbs. Dillon, Chastain, Bell, Briscoe, Zillage falls all the way to 9th place. Before Zane Smith takes the checkered flag for 10th place and will end off stage number 1. Josh Berry, the first driver to not earn points in the stage. And there we go. Yeah, yes, they let him rest. I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's the kind of time to go ahead and put him in there, give him as many paint schemes as you possibly can, even give him some kind of throwback schemes would be really cool. But, yeah, alright, well, we have hit the end of stage number 1. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my water, and we will be right back, guys. But, yeah, don't go anywhere. We do have NTT IndyCar Series racing from Portland International Raceway here shortly. And yeah, we should be seeing some good racing there too. we go. Let's see. What do we got? Okay, there was something that happened on Ty Gibbs' pit stop. Oh, the Jag had to go back around. All right, so Ty Gibbs to the rear of the field. Yeah, only you can drive this car. Okay. Well, that's a little unfortunate. I kind of my biggest thing with the AI in the NASCAR video games as of late is I'd love it if you could like select which drivers did and didn't race. Like maybe you had to choose a car number. Like if there were two people for the same car number, you had to choose. Do you want Jeff Gordon in the 24 or do you want Byron in the 24? I think that would be interesting. And like, hey, maybe you could check off like some of the Cody Wares and stuff, and add in some extra legends who had their own unique car number over the years. That I think would be pretty cool. Here we go. Green flag for the. We're actually going green for both races. Green, green, green on both fronts. Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano lead it down into turn 1 and 2 at Iowa. Meanwhile, Alex Palou leads through the first chicane here at the. Got the second at the first chicane over in Portland. So we got side by side 2 races going on at one time. As per usual, again, we will focus mostly on the NASCAR race, but I will occasionally mention, so that is Felix Rosenquist, that was leading into through the first chicane, Alex Palou to second. Meanwhile, Logano isn't giving his teammate much of a break here. I thought that by the second or third corner, I thought Blaney would have cleared, and there he goes. Finally, as he comes across stripe, Blaney will clear. Yeah, make you select number of cars in a race. I know. It would be nice, especially for, like, season mode. Like when you race your own, like, in-game mini-season or whatever, it'd be nice to be able to select, okay, who is your field of cars going to include? And to their credit, with the new games being made by iRacing AI allows you to select exactly who your opponents are and their paint scheme. So a light version of that wouldn't be unreasonable. Say now, of course, it's only the first or second year of iRacing having the license, so we'll have to wait and see. But I wouldn't rule it out. Something like that. Because as someone who's messed around my fair share with AI lobbies in iRacing, they're pretty cool. With the amount you're able to customize them. Now, again, I'm not expecting that you'd be able to customize everything, because, again, then you'd be devaluing iRacing a ton. Although I don't know how many people are using iRacing for just offline AI races, but it's interesting. But yeah, here we go. Probably be a NASCAR 27 thing. Yeah, again, it's something that I would like to see them add at some point. And here we go. Ross Chastain making a move around Bubba Wallace. Up inside the top 5. Bubba Wallace making a big move there. The problem with making the games moddable is Xbox and PS5 firmware, because the games are also on console. That's why the Minecraft Java version, or the version that's only on the computer, is moddable. Meanwhile, the Bedrock edition is a lot more locked down. Yeah, and there's a lot less modding available for the Minecraft Bedrock edition, and that's because of, I assume, the console hardware, because the consoles don't want people messing around with their data. Meanwhile, Minecraft on the computer is just a program run by Windows, and Microsoft themselves don't really mind if you mod Minecraft Java Edition. Haven't for years. It would make the Heat games were moddable. Okay, you could have them on both. Okay. I'm shocked that if the Heat games are moddable, I'm kind of surprised the new games aren't. But again, here we go. Logano is a Blaney Logano settling in here. Bell and Briscoe dueling it out inside the top 10. Battling it out for 6th place right behind Bubba Wallace pretty much. Honestly, I think if either one of them could just take the lead or take the spot, they'd probably both run right by Wallace. Because no offense to Wallace, but those two guys are in better cars, clearly. Okay, the mods were only on PC. Okay, so that's kind of what I was saying. Is like, yeah, the PC version of a game is almost always going to be more moddable than a console edition. And oh, we got SVG spins around. Shane Van Gisbergen spins, and that'll bring out the third caution flag of the afternoon here. All right, what happened? Oh, just got loose on the seams here and goes around. I'm gonna say that was entirely SVG's mistake, and I've talked about it a couple times. I'm not sure SVG is going to be good enough to stay inside the top 16. He's been messing around a little bit here. Built-in mods that you could download. Some games do that, yeah. As I said, I know Minecraft Bedrock Edition has them. I don't play a lot of different video games, so I don't know what all games do and don't have built-in mods, but oh, and simultaneously we got the My Jack car, the number 45. Not sure who is in that car at this point. Is that the 45? No, that's the 15 of Graham Rahal himself. Got off track and way off course, almost hit. Oh no, he did hit one of the barriers somewhere else on the track, and both races end up under a caution flag at the same time here. So Chris Buescher took the wave around, trying to get a lap back. Gets lucky with this caution coming early enough in the stage that he didn't have to pit under green. And the hood goes up on the 77 car of the 77 car of Carson Hocevar. The hood is up. They're checking something underneath that car. Not sure what the problem might be. Say a drivetrain issue, that could be really bad for Hocevar. Here we go. Pit road's open, and here comes the field. I'm kind of surprised there aren't some people staying out here trying to take advantage of the short yellow. I mean, this stage is long. We got 140 laps in this stage. So it's double the length of the other stages, and we got everybody coming in pretty much all for 2 tires here. So 2 drivers did stay out. 2 drivers. Hey Andrew, how's it going? Yeah, so yeah, I did see right at the very end that 2 drivers did stay out there. Black car, yeah, I saw 2 cars stayed out. I didn't see the numbers of either of them, but I did see that there were 2 cars that stayed out there. Everybody enjoying today's race? I'm enjoying it a ton. Oh, was it Cody Ware? Okay, well, Cody Ware usually will come back into the pits again. But yeah, Blaney and Logano were the first two off pit road. Shock and surprise. Oh, they were pitting different laps. So I did see that on their graphic. They did say two cars stayed out. So, as I say, it does look like Chase Elliott stayed out. Looks like Chase Elliott is the lone wolf opted to stay out here. I'm kind of curious. Since we had the cautions right about the same time for IndyCar and NASCAR, let's see which one. And IndyCar's already back racing, and they're racing at a big, long road course. And IndyCar is already cleaned up, back to racing. So you got Rosenquist, Ericsson, Palou, Power, and VK, the top five. Here is, they're starting to stack up as they go through the first chicane. All right, I'm kind of curious. Let's see. I'm gonna say Palou is dropped to third, so I'm curious to see. Palou looking a little human at this racetrack is kind of surprising, but we'll have to wait and see. Suarez had to back up his car to get back into the pit stall. But yeah, it looks like Chase Elliott has stayed out. Exactly. All right, lights out on the pace car. We're going green next time. And Chase Elliott opting to stay out. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do on about 10 to 12 lap older tires in the field. Actually, it's almost 15 lap older tires looking at the numbers now. So here we go. Pace car peels off towards pit road, leaving the field in the hands for the first time today. Not in Ryan Blaney's hands, but in Elliott's. Back to the green flag. Green flag is out, and we are back to racing here. Ryan Blaney on the inside, Chase Elliott, those older tires on the outside. Gonna see if he can hang on for dear life to this lead. Ryan Blaney on the bottom of the racetrack. First time all day he's had to deal with the bottom of the racetrack. As he's been the control car, he's been able to choose the top lane on every subsequent restart that we've had. And we got a caution flags. Yellow, caution flag flies. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Spins around, and the NOS energy machine has brought out the caution once again here at Iowa Speedway. And that is going to re-rack the field once again for another set of restarts. And that is the bigger problem with the cautions in NASCAR, is not necessarily purely the length of them, but the fact that the cautions breed cautions here. All right, let's see what happened to Stenhouse, because I know we're always quick to blame Stenhouse. Oh, it was a Stenhouse Michael McDowell spin, too. Oh, man, two of my favorite drivers right there getting tangled up together. Granted, Mike McDowell couldn't go much lower because he had Austin Hill on his quarter panel, too. So, I mean, I don't know that Austin Hill necessarily had a ton of room to go as well because he had somebody on his inside quarter, but yeah, that is a very unfortunate place for those drivers to be stuck, and ultimately leads to 47 being spun around and us being back under caution. All right, well. Yeah, four wide, that's what happens. That is one of those things that just kind of happens. So we're gonna hop back up. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna full screen IndyCar for a little bit. We're gonna just talk about the IndyCar race while NASCAR cleans up their caution period. And here we go. Let's see. So they're talking about 3 pit stop strategy here. Time lost on pit road about 29 seconds here at the Grand Prix of Portland here. Unfortunately, it's the wrong Portland for me. It's Portland, Oregon, not Portland, Maine. Good mix of hard and softs actually through the field. So good on Firestone for bringing a somewhat balanced tire. It seems. We're also in the short run where those reds should flourish, but we'll have to wait and see here. All right, so Alex Palou again. Not seeing Palou out front is really strange. Scott Dixon up into the side of the top 10. How's Stingray doing? What you got for IndyCar? If you're talking predictions, I mean, my prediction for most IndyCar races is Alex Palou absolutely takes the lead and runs away with it, but as of now, he hasn't done it yet, so. If you're asking who my favorites are for IndyCar, Pat O'Ward is usually one I find myself rooting for a lot. I like the McLaren team as a whole. Also have loved Alexander Rossi for a while. He was kind of the Kyle Busch of IndyCar when I was really kind of getting into both back in, when I was getting into IndyCar throughout the 2016, 2017 seasons. But yeah, Stingray Robb all the way back in 24th. That's unfortunate. Always like seeing where some of the guys I've raced with online before are at. Alright, so we're going side by side there. So we'll pop this back out to a side by side with NASCAR, see where NASCAR's at. It's still a commercial break as well. So a quarter of the race has been under caution flag for only 4 cautions run. Or 4 cautions have come out and we've run 25 caution laps. But yeah. All right, here we go. Pace car is in on the NASCAR side of things. Let's go. Green flags out. Chase Elliott out in front of the field, and everybody ducking out of line here on the bottom line, trying to get down to the bottom here. John Hunter Nemechek jumping down to the bottom. Austin Dillon to the bottom, and a couple others. Palou is losing time, actually. Wow, that is rare to see. My pick for the win, I've said it a couple times at this point, but I came in thinking that I think Ryan Blaney's going to get 2 of these next 3. I think he's going to get this one, and I think he'll get New Hampshire in a couple weeks. I don't know if he'll get Richmond to get the 3 in a row. I think Richmond's his weakest track of the 3, and here comes Bubba Wallace up the inside looking for 3 wide for the lead. Can Bubba Wallace get there? Big twitch for the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. He hangs on. Ryan Blaney hangs on, but he will lose that spot to Bubba Wallace after that big twitch here. And Joey Logano, I think, senses that weakness, and he's going to try and pounce on his teammate here. The 22 of Logano, door to door with the 12. Meanwhile, the 23 and the 9 duel it out for first place at the front of the field. Door to door, wheel to wheel. Elliott with the advantage going down towards turn 1, but not able to clear. That was a save and a half, but yeah, here we go. Off the corner, Elliott should clear. Yep, there we go. Elliott gets clear of Bubba Wallace and can try to block him, but no, stays up high for the corner. And now he's got the 23 back on the inside. This one is going this one's going fun. So here we go again. Bubba Wallace, Elliott dueling it out here at the front of the field. Bubba Wallace able to clear Elliott and take the lead. And Bubba Wallace is your race leader in corn country, Iowa Speedway. And here we go. We got ourselves a pretty good race going here. Keeping an eye over. Pelot is actually closed in at least a tenth or two on the cut line over there. Or not on the cut line, but on like the distance to the leader. Not sure if it's just section of track he's in, but it looks like he's getting closer. Let's pull up my IndyCar app and see where we're at. Because IndyCar app only updates with the line-to-line time gap. Yeah, well, gaining and losing throughout a lap is understandable. It's just a matter of whether he's gaining or losing in the line-to-line times. That's the only way to really gain it. Because, like, yeah, when he's on the straightaway and they're in the chicane, obviously he's going to gain time, but then he has to go through the same chicane, and he'll give that time right back. That's why line-to-line times are some of the only ways to really accurately measure motorsports, especially when you're talking about road courses. So Kyle Larson still holding on to that fastest lap award from earlier. All right, Joe Logano and Austin Dillon up into the top 5. Dueling it out, I believe, for 4th right now. Say door to door, wheel to wheel here. The 3 car of Dillon, the 22 of Logano. Meanwhile, here comes Blaney looking for that lead. It looks like Blaney is hungry to try and get what Wallace has right now, which is the clean air and the race lead. I'm not sure which one he wants more, the race lead or the clean air. I'm going to say, I know his race car desperately wants the clean air. And, yeah, the only way to get that clean air is by getting the lead of the race, so you got to get out there. Guess theoretically you could drop far enough back to try and get clean air, but then you're so far back and you're just going to use that clean air to catch back up to where you were. All right, so here we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. 47 laps into this 140 lap stage. All right, so there we go. Again, Jones and Reddick both out of the race. Hocevar only lost one lap despite the engine trouble they were having. They managed to get back out there and only lose one lap. So kudos to them for avoiding the worst damage. Hopefully, that doesn't come back to bite them later. Yeah, so you also could be saving fuel because we are getting to that point in the fuel window where a lot of the drivers who are planning to try and three stop it are coming in. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, he is losing to Felix Rosenquist overall. Oh, Christopher Bell with a major slide there. Manages to hang on to that one, but Christopher Bell in 8th just had a wicked save. And here comes Ericsson down pit road over on the IndyCar side of things. Kirkwood, Ericsson, Dixon, and Grosjean all come to pit road. Kyle Larson starting to hound the one car of Ross Chastain here, trying to get that 6th position away. All right, well, here we go again. Bell actually comes up and passes Larson, and here's Hamlin. Larson goes from trying to fight to get into the top 6 to being passed by 2 Toyotas here in 2 laps. All right, we get side-by-side coverage of both, and here comes Larson trying to return the favor to the 11, but I don't know if he just is not going to get there. And that puts Kyle Larson back to 9th, and Josh Berry is going to be the next one to try and get by him. I'm going to say, just showing a replay of the 11 getting into the 5 there, just muscling him out the way. All right, so here we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. All right, here we go. One of the McLarens in the pits. Not sure. Can't see the number on it. Hard to tell with the McLarens which one's which. And here we go. Back from commercial on NASCAR as well. As we're working our way through this 161 laps into this stage. Oh, and that was Lundgaard who was in the pits, and he jumps right out in front of Louis Foster, and that is going to anger Louis just a little bit. And here we go. Bell marching his way up through the field. Yep. Yeah, I figured out it was Lundgaard. All right, here we go again. Right now, Ryan Blaney is trailing Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace looking like he might be the one to take off and try and run away with this second stage, but we'll have to keep an eye on it, of course. And at any point in this stage, a caution flag could come out and shake everything up. Chase Elliott has managed to maintain the top three despite the older tires as of now, but we'll have to keep an eye on, see if he can continue to hold off guys like Logano, Bell for too much longer here. All right, Renus VK and Simpson both come into pit. Over on the IndyCar side of things, for the NASCAR side of things, Larson continues to fall. He falls to Barry, and now it's going to be Connor Zilic is up next to try and pass the champion Kyle Larson. Two-time champion Kyle Larson. Yep, below a saving right behind Felix. Yep. That was the thought process here, and now he has closed that gap dramatically. All right. And so again, right now Larson just trying to hang on to this top 10 running spot here. And say if Larson can't hold on to a top 10, I mean, granted, right now Elliott is in position as well. Hendrick is again on a 3-race streak of no top 10s at all in the company. Let's see, what was the last top 10 for a Hendrick driver? Obviously, this race is not completed yet. Was it at? Was not at Atlanta. Okay, it was William Byron and Bowman both inside the top 5 at Chicagoland. So from Chicagoland onward, so July 4th weekend onward, we've basically been a month without a Hendrick driver inside the top 5. Or even top 10 even. So yeah, it's oh, we got a spin. It's Carson Hocevar goes around. Hocevar goes around. Yellow flag comes out. Here comes Pillow into the pits. Alright, so caution flag is out for... Alright, real quick, I'm gonna make a quick call here, guys. Alright, guys, give me just a second, guys. We spilled something on the studio here. I'm worried about those. Alright, here we go. They're doing pit road, and oh, Elliott stopped on pit road for a long stop. Not sure what the issue is there. Alright, I will be right back, guys. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we got 5 people hanging out in chat. Thank you guys for this. It's been a portion of your very valuable Sunday here with us. As yeah, we've got IndyCars on one screen, and NASCAR is currently at a commercial break as we are under caution flag for the spin of the 77 car of Carson Hocevar. So far, IndyCar's gotten away with only the one caution flag so far. There we go. Should dry out soon, but we'll... Alright, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic rest of your day. Bubba's bet on pit road, rough. And the other three Toyotas settling into the front three spots here as we get ready to go back green, green, green. So 3 Toyotas stay out here. Hamlin, Bell, and Briscoe all choose to stay out and control the front of the field. Meanwhile, Michael McDowell, the first driver on somewhat new tires, everybody else on 4 fresh ones, I'm sure. I know Kyle Larson way up the hill. Not looking like he's in any sort of shape. And 3 wide, 4 wide, goes wrong. Boom, and into the fence. Alex Bowman up into the wall, and he's got a major tire up, and we got some other damage we got to look at. The 5 car almost certainly got some damage in that one, too. All right, let's see what happened here, because, yeah, down into the corner. All right, Larson goes up the track, and they get 4 wide there, and looks like the 35 of Riley Herbst just didn't know they were 4 wide and tried to move up the track there. Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek was the reason that Larson got up there in the first place, but then, yeah, Riley Herbst is the one that finished off the 4 wide. I mean, if Riley Herbst just holds his line on the bottom there, they probably get through this with the 5 car just sliding further back. Unfortunately, 35 got tight at like just the worst possible moment. And Alex Blow, by the way, is out front and dominating. Yeah, so Blow out in front of the field at the IndyCar race, and looks like it's by a decent chunk. It's open, And who's coming? Nobody? Ain't nobody coming for tires. Looks like it's going to be the Kyle Larson coming to look at that damage. Makes sense. We were only green for like half a second. At least we're not at 50 caution laps at this point. Wouldn't be overly thrilled with the amount of laps we are burning under caution, but well, it's not even necessarily the caution laps, it's how slow the caution laps are. Yeah, pace speed should be just a little higher. I'm not suggesting for like 300-mile-an-hour pace laps or anything, but yeah, pace speed probably could be a little higher. It would give more risk to people on pit road as well, because a simple overshot pit box could start to turn into a risk at some of these tracks about like, okay, are you going to lose a lap under a caution flag? Shouldn't be a major risk, but it should be at least something to consider. Under the current pace, if you, I mean, you could have a long pit stop and still hang on to the lead lap at a short track, which is insane. All right, here we go. Green flags out. Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin still the control cars. And man, as I say, the Toyotas look good. Even with the old tires, they're still able to hang on to these top few spots. Briscoe versus Logano, that's going to be the question mark. Can Logano get that one from Briscoe? Looks like the answer is no. It is a Toyota 1, 2, 3. No, it wasn't a bad. It wasn't a poorly paced yellow. It was a little bit faster than the previous one that was one lap earlier. All right, so here we go. We got 50 laps to go in this in the second stage. All right, 3 wide battle. Gibbs, Gibbs, the 4 car. The 4 car, Noah Gragson in 11th place. Great job. It's like Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, and Mike McDowell all battling at the edge of the top 10 here. Alright, wow, walking back in here for the rundown to the end of the stage. Let's see what we got. Alright, well, we're just chilling out here. Noah Gregson falling back a little bit. Actually, yeah, Gregson's falling back a little bit. I was curious because I see Blaney in the mix, but then it's like, nope, Blaney's not in the front anymore. You got shuffled a little bit further back during one of those pit stops here. Hamlin's fallen to third of the Toyota crew, but again, they're still comfortably 1, 2, 3. There's not a whole lot of competition going on at the front of the field. Alright. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Not Blaney, sorry, that's the 21 of Barry going on by Michael McDowell here for the 10th position. So McDowell's still holding on to a top 10 spot just about here, but just kind of hoping to see a little bit more speed Spire Motorsports car because I think McDowell's not out of it with a chance to, but you would need a really good last 4 races. And, well, short tracks are not really a specialty, and yeah, for obvious reason at this point. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. Bubba Wall's dueling it out with Ryan Preece at the, say in the middle of the pack here. Bubba Wall's up to 18th place. And after speeding on pit road, that's not actually all that far back here. Of the in-house Gibbs cars, though, Ty Gibbs being the worst one in 8th, that's not too bad. Not too bad by Gibbs this year's standards, because they have set the standard incredibly high for this year. I mean, all 4 Toyotas from Joe Gibbs Racing have been in contention for wins. Yeah, this year. I say, I don't remember if Bell and Briscoe have broken through yet. Hamlin's been crushing it. Ty Gibbs finally got his first win. Alright, so here we go. The battle for 25th. You got, is that Logano and Elliott dueling it out? Yeah, Briscoe got Chicagoland, yeah. Bell, I think, is still winless, though, on the year. If I remember correctly. I believe, yeah, I knew one of them had gotten a win. I just couldn't remember which one had gotten it down the summer stretch. Alright, so, we're just chilling out here. Currently on a side-by-side commercial break. Markham, Ontario, next week at noon Eastern on Sunday. We'll see about that one. I don't know what my schedule's gonna look like next weekend. Obviously, I've got that wedding on Saturday. I do not know what my schedule will be like, what time I'm getting home, and then obviously, for those of you guys who don't know too much about me, there might be another reason why Sunday may or may not be an overly busy day for me, but there will almost certainly be a stream on one channel or the other, whether it's this one here or if it's my gaming channel. I'm leaning towards it. If I do a stream, it'll probably be on my gaming channel. But yeah, I'll have to wait. All right, so again, right now, yep, Pelot coming to pit road. Okay, yeah, there he is. Pelot jumps onto pit road. Yeah, I'm just kind of loosely following it. Once Pelot took the lead, I was like, okay, we got to. He's gonna just crush it from there. Barring a bad pit stop here, I would be shocked if anything overly changes down the stretch here. But I'm always willing to be surprised. So, only 3 drivers have finished top 10 in all 3 short track races so far this year. And it's Ty Gibbs, Logano, and Denny Hamlin between Bristol, Martinsville, and the North Wilkesboro Speedway a couple weeks ago. Yeah, right now though, Bella's just absolutely on cruise control here, and honestly, Ty Gibbs is actually up to 6, so he's making up some ground here. So that was not Logano battling it out, by the way, with Elliott earlier. That must have been the 34 of Gilliland. The yellow and red cars tend to confuse me. 34 and 22. They both had the same sponsor for years, and I still have a hard time telling the two yellows apart. Alright. Oh, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody is having a good time. Here comes David Malukas into the pits. Has David Malukas actually won a race yet? Because, I was like, he's driving for Penske. He should have a race win by now. I say, but I can't think of a race that Malukas has actually won. But I'd be shocked if a Penske driver is still winless at this point. Although with Pelot sucking up a lot of the race wins, it's gotten kind of hard. Yeah, nope. Malukas has not won yet. Zilich finally has a decent race. Oh boy. Are you saying that because he's about to spin, or are you just saying that because he's actually having a decent race? Because that sounds like you're trying to get a commentator's curse on him. Oh no, Connor's Zilich up to 9th. Okay. Well, he's up there for now. We'll see if he can maintain that, but at the moment, he's in 9th, and here comes Ryan Blaney all the way up to the 11th position here. His next pass is going to be on the sister car there in the Wood Brothers with with Josh Berry. Very similar looking cars at first glance. But yeah, the 21 has some darker tones and a brighter roof number versus the more subtle roof number of the 12. No, I'm actually happy for him too. It just it sounded like, because I know sometimes when I'm watching, I'm a little bit behind you guys, so I was like, oh, is he about to blow a tire and lose another great day? But hey, at least he's made it to this point in the lab, because that's the thing that's been more surprising than anything else, has been just the fact that he hasn't even made it he hasn't made it past like lap 3 a lot of the time. Like, it's not good when some drivers have more laps led than you have laps to run. Now, granted, some of those drivers, it makes sense why they'd have a lot of laps led, but more than you have laps run is a little bit concerning, especially this long into the season, because every driver has had a hot or a cold streak at some point in this season. Well, Justin Newgarden out in front of Pelot right now, but if he hasn't pit yet, that's about to really cycle him pretty far back. And we got 15 laps to go in the stage. I'm going to try and call again, make sure my parents are checking their lineups. Alright, sorry about that. Just had to go and update the rest of the family, make sure, because they are on vacation this week. I wanted to make sure that they were paying attention to the laps remaining in stage number 2, so they can make some adjustments to their lineups if need be. And yeah, right now, though, it is a. Let's say the Toyota's kind of fading here. Briscoe and Hamlin both drifting further back. Ty Gibbs up into the top 4. But Logano and Chastain have taken over some of those Toyota spots inside the top 3. But Bell still holds on to a narrow lead here. Oh, wait, no, that's not a narrow lead. Sorry. I thought I said 0.5 seconds, and I was like, oh, that's close. No, that's a 2. 2.5 seconds. That's a little bit better. I think Pelot is saving again. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me again. Pelot saves fuel so often, it makes it hard to keep up. Alright, here we go. Christopher Bell to the back bumper of SVG. SVG hanging on in the 29th position. And let's see. SVG, how hard is he going to fight to stay on the lead lap? If I was SVG, I'd be thinking about fighting pretty hard for this one. You've stayed on the lead lap up to this point. Can you make it all the way back around while on the lead lap? Alright, well, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. 4 to go in the stage. Here we go. Here comes William Byron to the back bumper of Denny Hamlin. We might actually have some real Hendrick representation inside the top 10 when things are all said and done today. And say at one point it looked like Elliott. For a while it looked like Larson, but then Larson tagged the wall. Bowman was kind of back there when Larson got tagged by the 48s. Now it's down to the 24. The 24 of William Byron. Can he be the Lone Ranger to get the top 10 finish and break the three going on 4 races streak here of drivers not finishing inside the top 10? Alright, here we go. We're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Final lap of stage number 2. Can Bell get to or past SVG? I don't think he's going to from that range. He's not going to get there. SVG is going to hold on to the lead lap, but Christopher Bell is a stage 2 winner. Logano, Chastain, Ty Gibbs, Briscoe, Hamlin. Okay, they managed to hang on to some good spots there. Byron, Blaney, Zane Smith, and Connor Zilic hangs on to that 10th and final spot, earning a point. Josh Berry, the first driver to miss out on points entirely in that stage. And there we go. They go to commercial break. We are going to I'm gonna run and grab a snack real quick, and we'll be right back, guys. Temperatures are regulated enough now to where I should be able to get through this without needing the air going. Alright, there we go. All right, here we go. Pit road is open and everybody's coming. Shock and surprise. 140 laps to go. Yeah, Floyd's back out front by a country mile. Actually, it's only 2 seconds. It's not that big of a lead. Blaney takes 2 tires. Everybody else taking 4. AJ Allmendinger up into the top 10. There we go. Oh, Joey Logano. He started to leave with loose lug nuts, and they had to back him back up. Well, we're not missing anything too big here. We're at commercial break under caution flag for the stage end. On the NASCAR side of things, IndyCar is about 30 laps from the checkers, and they're still working their way through this one. That's funny. A Denny Hamlin commercial over on the IndyCar race. Well, NASCAR's got soccer being shown on the screen. Alright, here we go. Looks like we're getting ready to go back racing here for the start of stage number 332 laps to go. Let's see what we are made of here. As we get ready to go, green flags out. We are back to racing, and here we are. Blaney, Elliott out in front of the field. Bell dropping back a little bit, but as I say, he's on the inside line. He's going to take over third place here. And Bell looking like he might have the speed to try and upset Blaney. Yeah, Chase Elliott on the outside line here. Alright, so here we go. Blaney out in front. Elliott versus Bell behind. Again, I'm giving Bell a lot of credit. He's looking a lot racier than a lot of the other people who were on that inside line. Alright, here we go. We got 3 wide. Oh, 3 wide further back there. Firing on the outside of 3 wide, just at the edge of the top 10. And again, Elliott was able to clear just ahead of Bell, but Bell has not given up that fight quite yet. Blaney just trying to run away and hide from those two. Because the more Bell fights with Elliott, the more it allows them both to get away. Alright. There we go. Bell gets clear of Elliott. And it looks like Chastain's set to follow him through. Wow. And here comes Ty Gibbs looking to try and take advantage of a weakened Chase Elliott, it seems. After a couple laps of running door to door with Bell, maybe used up the good in those Goodyear tires. We better hope not, because he's got a lot longer to go on those tires if he wants to get back around. Here we go. Alright, Blaney, Bell, Chastain out in front of the field, and man, Elliott's dropped all the way to 7th. Yikes. AJ Allmendinger are fighting inside the top 10. There we go. Felix slows gap a bit, and then Felix Rosenquist comes to pit road. That's funny. And again, Elliott on significantly old. Oh wow, I didn't realize how much older tires Elliott was on. Yep, here comes below to pit road over on the other side of things. We're with 29 to go. But yeah, Elliott's on significantly older tires. That explains why he's dropping back as far as he is. Well, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. 26 to go on the IndyCar side of things. NASCAR a little over 100. It's funny how IndyCar will start a half hour after NASCAR to almost an hour after NASCAR and wrap up with NASCAR still having 100 laps to go. Come on, people killing it. I'm assuming you mean Pelot, and yeah, Pelot is out in front of the field. No, actually, Pelot's not out in front of the field right now because there's still three guys who have yet to pit. But yeah, Alex Pelot is doing an amazing job here. Alright, well, we're just chilling out here. Alright, let's see. Tag gives up into the top three. There we go. That's what we like to see. They're going through their ones to watch. I mean, I think the Joe Gibbs Toyotas and Blaney have got to be your top 5 guys to watch because I find it hard not to mention the Toyota power at the front of the field. Got Blaney. If you want to talk about somebody else, though, I mean, Chastain, Allmendinger, you got a couple of good picks there. And then you got a couple of Hendrick Chevys right at the edge of the top 10 trying to fight to break that top 10 list streak for the for them. Yeah, AJ Allmendinger's killing it. Running inside the top 6 there, AJ Allmendinger. Certainly can't be mad about that. Alright, here we go again. Alex Palou still out in front by out in front of the other cars who have already come to pit road as Power is the last one to pit here. We'll see the exact gap here in a second. As Palou takes over in about 20 or so. Yep, there we go. Power coming in. And Palou out in front by about 3 seconds. 14 races remain. Most runner-up finishes in a season without a win. Larson in 2018. Labonte. So Larson in 2018 holds the record. 8 second place finishes without a win that year. Right now, Christopher Bell is at 6 at the moment and could very well be staring down the barrel of his 7th here if he can't get around Blaney. Although he just got right to the back bumper of Blaney, and we do still have about 100 to go. So 100 laps to go. They still have time for Bell to figure something out here, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one. If Bell is not able to get around him. Alright, man. Again, right now, Bell and Blaney are neck and neck right at the front of the field, and I would not be shocked if we see either one of these guys finish out at the top of the leaderboard here. Alright, so there we go. Oh, wow, and Bell jumps to the outside, and he goes around the outside of Blaney. Ryan Blaney falls to second in behind Christopher Bell. And Christopher Bell leads now at Iowa. And the 9 car of Chase Elliott just got done a green flag pit stop. The one thing you really do not want to have to do with NASCAR in a short track. It's like the number one thing you do not want to have to do is you do not want to have to pit under green. Certainly not for tires and fuel. So if you have damage and you need to come in under green, well, you're already probably in a boat of trouble anyway, but Say, if we can just keep this thing green, we'll be golden to run all the way to the checkered flag. No problems at all. So we're 2.5 hours into the stream. We've been we've been racing for about 2 hours and 19 minutes. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're just chilling out here. Alex Palo's gap is growing. Over the last 2 laps, it's grown by a full second to 4 seconds out in front of the field. Blaney trying to hang as close as he can to Bell, but Bell does seem to be like he's in a different zip code here. Now, maybe once Bell hits lap traffic, we'll see Blaney be able to close the gap. The question is, will Blaney be able to find a way to pass him back? And possibly hold him back. Because it is not an easy one to get out in front of here. Alright, well, we are just chilling here. Hopefully, we're having a good time. Alright, 17 laps to go, and Pelot is sailing off into the sunset. He's up to only a 5-second gap now. Meanwhile, in NASCAR at Iowa, we are crossing the, I believe, is that 95 to go or 85? Hard to tell when the screen's that far away, but say VK hanging on to a somewhat contested 4th place here as he's got Kirkwood on his tail. Where's SVG right now? He spun earlier. Let's see. He wasn't out of the race, but he did have a spin earlier that put him a lap down, I think. He is 27th, 1 lap down for SVG. So Shane Van Gisbergen is in 27th place, 1 lap down at the current moment. Meanwhile, there goes Kyle Larson getting lapped again by Christopher Bell after Kyle Larson got some damage in one of the yellows earlier. Yeah, he was running pretty decently too earlier. Him and Zillich both had decent runs going there for a little bit, but ultimately, they just wasn't able to hang on to it. Yeah, they always feels bad. Trust me, I felt the same way a couple of times when may his win come soon. He's getting good. Yeah, he's not doing bad, especially at the short ovals with braking involved. I would not be shocked to see him run really well at Richmond next week, honestly. I mean, and that's not me trying to promote the, hey, you should come back and see how he does next week, but legitimately, I would say, that next week at Richmond, I would say, is a good chance to see him run pretty well. Yeah, Larson and Bowman are both back out. I don't think they ever went to the garage. They only lost, like, I think 2 or 3 laps. All right, what we got? The Nashville race he could have won. Atlanta Bell screwed him over. Yeah, he's had some pretty solid runs at the ovals. Yeah, I think it was Nashville. He had a good run at. What was it? Was it the? Did Larson go into the garage? Okay, he was only like 3 or 4 laps down last I saw. He must have gone into the garage at some point after that. Yeah, Bowman being 89 down is no shock that he must have gone into the garage. I saw Larson back out there earlier, only down a lap or two, so I just assumed he chose not to go to pit road, so I assumed he stayed not going to pit road, but clearly no. He came to pit road all the same. You only notice him now on the ticker. Yeah, again, I know Larson hit pretty hard, but he was back out there pretty quick and it was only like 2 or 3 down. Oh, Ty Gibbs just had a major slip on the bottom of the racetrack, so that was sketchy. Let's see. Bell's probably gonna win 3 in a row now. He's so good at Iowa right now. He's good at Richmond, and then unless Dylan locks in, he's just a New Hampshire guy. Well, I tend to remember last year's New Hampshire race when a certain 12 car was absolutely untouchable. Yeah, I know I was out there in the grandstands for that one. So I mean, Bell could rattle off a 3 race win streak, but I was actually thinking that there was a chance Blaney could get a 3 in a row streak going here. I was like, well, maybe he missed the Richmond, but I felt like, okay, there's a pretty good shot he could get both Iowa and New Hampshire. But yeah, Bell is looking like he's right back in his O'Reilly form where he decimated both this place and New Hampshire. And Richmond's not all that different from this place, so it shouldn't be all that different. Geometrically speaking, at least. Yeah, right now, though, Alex Palo's dominating over on the IndyCar side of things. Your home track is the site of Kyle Busch's final Cup win. Was that Gateway in 23? I believe if I've got my Kyle Busch facts right, which as a resident Kyle Busch fan, I really wish I had. I really wish I had more confidence in that answer, but I believe Gateway of 23 was his last career win. Man, I still, it's hard sometimes to believe that he's actually gone, but yep. Okay, I was right on that. As I said, resident Kyle Busch fan, I should be a lot more confident on that answer. Yeah, I know it was 63 race wins for him. And then I got to watch Denny Hamlin surpass Kyle Busch at Pocono earlier this year. So yep, here comes. So we got Gibbs versus Hosvar on track. Yeah, went out a truck winner at Dover. Yep. And saying that I was actually watching some of the highlight reel from that All Star race, his last official race, and his crew chief said, "Hey, next week will be better." Which, depending on your perspective and what you believe, say it might have been, but again, it very much depends on your perspective. Yeah, and say he only won Fontana the very last trip there before they got rid of that track. Talladega, he only had one win at Talladega prior to that, and I believe it was back in like 08. So that was pretty cool to see. And then Gateway, obviously, a brand new track that he got the win at. And we got Ryan Blaney on pit road. Potentially, yeah, we got green flag pit stops occurring here. Blaney Bowman on pit road. And he said in his truck interview, yeah, oh yeah, trust me, I'm well aware. Yeah, of the quote from his truck interview where he says, "You never know when." Yeah, you never know which win is going to be your last, so you got to celebrate them. And yeah, but yeah, I was listening to some of the radioactive from that weekend, and yeah, Kyle's crew chief came over the radio at the end and was just like, "Yep, next week will be better." So there we go. Ty Dillon and Denny Hamlin on pit road together. Gregson's in the top 10. Kevin Magnussen back out there. Gregson's had a decent performance today, but also we do have a round of green flag stops going. Hamlin and Blaney have both pit out of the top 10, which is allowing Gregson to jump up temporarily. We'll see where he levels out once pit stop cycle. And another driver inside the top 10 coming to pit road is AJ Allmendinger this time. But Dinger going into the pits here. Christopher Bell continuing to put the beat down on the track here, trying to get around. His next target will be Chase Elliott in the number 9 car. Elliott's got fresher tires, though. It's going to be tough for Bell to get that one. Just Zillich, yep. And say Zillich has been having a pretty good day too, as well. In and around the back half of the top 10, he even earned some stage points in one of the two. So there we go. Yeah, we have talked about Zillich a couple of times throughout the night up to this point. Bubba Wallace had a speeding penalty, which put him behind. He is now back up to 11th, currently with the pit stops as they are. But yeah. 6 laps to go over on the NTT IndyCar Series race from Portland, Oregon. Not Portland, Maine, unfortunately. That would be really nice to have a track that close to me, but I gotta make the trek all the way to New Hampshire this weekend, or not this weekend, next weekend for that race. Other than Hamlin, JGR is putting on a show. Well, again, Hamlin was just inside the top 5 prior to his pit stop here, and here comes Christopher Bell in for his pit stop as well. So Bell and Gibbs both on pit road currently. Yeah, Gibbs came to pit road, so did Bell, And Hamlin was already on pit road, and that's why he wasn't in the top 10 there for a minute. But yeah, now you got Briscoe up into the second position. Chastain currently leading. And you got Barry, Gregson, Zilich, a few interesting names up in that top 10. But yeah, it is definitely going to be an interesting one. Hopefully, we can go green flag the whole way here and get a nice cycled round of green flag stops in. Pit stops. Pit stops are going on, Dominic. That's what happened to AJ. Yeah, so far, Allmendinger's pit. 3 of the 4 Gibbs cars pit. Bell, Gibbs, and Hamlin have all come to pit road. The 12 of the 12 came down to pit road. So right now we are in the middle of a green flag pit cycle here, and right now it's Ross Chastain versus Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs trying to stay on the lead lap. Or maybe it's trying to get back to only 1 lap down, but the Gibbs versus Chastain dueling it out here at the front of the field. But yeah, no need to panic there, Dominic. AJ is not gone for long. I'm sure we'll see him back up in the top 10 soon enough. And is that the that looks like the 19? Yep, 19 of Briscoe has come to pit road. The 19 of Chase Briscoe has come to pit road. The top 4 if I've seen one. Chastain, Barry, Gregson, and Zane Smith. And honestly, throw in Zilich's name. I mean, just for the wackiness, those 5 as the top 5 at a Iowa race. It's like, yep, nope. All 3 front row cars in the top 10. Yep, there we go. Todd Gilliland jumps up into the top 10 here amongst the series of pit stops. That is an interesting one. Daniel Suarez makes his first appearance up into the top 10, I believe, all night long. And man, that is a tight squeeze there between Chastain and Stenhouse and the 20 of Gibbs, or not 20 of Gibbs, 20 of Bell. And here we go, Alex Palou just putting an absolute beat down over on the other side of the screen. 3 laps to go. And Palou, he has caught a car, and it looks like that car might be giving him some trouble here. Not sure who it is. Is it Roman Grosjean? No, it is. It's Alexander Rossi. Okay, yep, it's going to give him some trouble. It'll be a minute. He might even have to give up some of the lead to the rest of the field here if Ericsson's going to really start trying. But here we go. Alright, please tell me they're showing this as a replay and not live. What track is Indy at? They're racing at the Portland International Raceway out in Portland, Oregon. I want to see that top 5 at the end. That would be a hilarious top 5. Alright, here we go. Alright, so 2 laps to go, and they should be taking the white flag. 1 lap to go for the NTT IndyCar Series out at Portland. White flag, 1 lap to go. Hate that track. In a fan-made NASCAR game and it's trash. Trust me, I am well aware it's not Portland, Maine. I am well aware it's not Portland, Maine. It is Portland, Oregon. Portland International Raceway out in Portland, Oregon. If it was Portland, Maine, I would have been there. I would have been there for NASCAR. I would have been there for IndyCar. Because the NASCAR Riley Series took a trip there in the early part of summer. Yeah, as I Palou's miles ahead at Portland. He's got this one. Who could have guessed? Yeah, almost anybody with a brain cell could have told you that. Yeah, Pillow is almost certainly the one to beat. So we got 46 laps to go here. Double checkered flags are out for Alex Pillow. And yeah, Ross Chastain still has not come to pit road and is staying out there to lead this group of seemingly misfits around here. Here we go. Third driver in history to win 6+ races in back-to-back seasons. Wow. There you go. What number is Pillow in? Yeah, he's number 10. He did not choose to use the champions elect to run the number 1. For those of you guys who don't know, the number 1 in IndyCar is always reserved for that year's champion, so no team has ownership over the number 1. Yeah, the number 1 becomes available for whoever gets the champion. Yeah, whoever gets it. So, Chip Ganassi could field a 1 car at, say, Indianapolis as a one-off for somebody. In fact, I remember that a while back when Dixon won a championship. People were talking about Kurt Busch could run the 1 car at Indy since Dixon wasn't going to use the 1 for his own seasons for superstitious reasons. So there's a lot of superstition that the number 1 changing to the number 1 car is unlucky or something in IndyCar. But you make a lot of merch sales having a new car number on your diecast after a year following a championship year. So there we go. We got about 40 laps to go. 40 to go here in the NASCAR race. Let's go ahead and full screen this again. And yeah, we'll be right back at it here. So again, a lot of people are cycling through these pit stops. Gibbs and Bell up into the top two. They're up to 5th and 6th here. All right, Haas making the number 1 look pretty good today. Yep, the title win is never happening. Hey, we said the same thing about Aspire Motorsports win, and now they've got 2 of them, or 3 of them actually, if you'll count their Lightning Daytona race that they won on accident. And honestly, obviously, right now with SVG hanging around makes it a lot harder. But Ty Dillon is not a bad road course racer. As I say, if given a field of only NASCAR drivers, Ty Dillon wouldn't be all that far off on the on the road courses. As I say, he can hold his own against the NASCAR regulars, but the guys like SVG and Zillage just make it really tough on all the typical road course guys. Exactly. Yeah, you want to stage at the Roval driving number 13. Yeah, the Daytona 2019 race was hilarious. Everybody thought they were going back there. Yeah, here we go. Chastain, Gregson, Nemechek, the front 3 have all yet to come to pit road. So we're still waiting to see if we get any more spots gained here. Now Gibbs has gone and passed Nemechek. Can he get to Gregson? Alright, there we go. Now we're just chilling there. Hopefully everybody is having a good time. Cody Ware almost won at Daytona. Yep, there was a time when that happened. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's hard to definitively rule someone out for an all of time for a win. Unless there's some sort of physical reason as to why. Alright, so 33 laps go. Yeah, we're clicking the laps off pretty quick, actually. As you look, let's see, Cody Ware has always had insane luck as the summer Daytona race. Yep. Corey LaJoie is the only full time Spire driver without a win. Um, did Justin Haley not have a full time season? At least it's not as bad as Carson Ware. But yeah, didn't Justin Haley have one full time season at Spire Cup? So I'm glad to be proven wrong, but I could have sworn. Oh yeah, Zane Smith too. Yep. All right, let's see. I gotta know more about Justin Haley at this point. Do. Justin Haley racing car driver. 2025. Yep, he was full time in the Spire number 7 last year. Not to mention for 2 years. For 2 years before. Oh no, that was for college, not Spire. Okay, well, when you say without a win, I assume you meant cup win. My bad. Oh yeah, Justin Haley won the 2019 race. Yep. Yeah, poor Zane. Yeah, and say if you go with the top 3 series, I mean, there's very few drivers who have run a decent amount of races in all 3 series and yet to get a win. Thing with LaJoie is that he didn't actually run much for a truck or O'Reilly, did he? Because I know he didn't win, but let's see. Corey LaJoie, motorsports driver. I know he's back in the trucks, and he could realistically pick up that first win at the top 3 levels of NASCAR here. All right, so for O'Reilly, he made a total of 22 races, and trucks he's at 28 starts. So shock and surprise, LaJoie. Yeah, shock and surprise, LaJoie doesn't have any lower series wins to help count on the record there. Oh, I know. But there are very few drivers who have run that little amount of truck in O'Reilly. Especially because a lot of the time when they get promoted, it's because you had a good season in O'Reilly or trucks. All right, here we go. Everything's starting to cycle back around here, and we've got Ty Gibbs out in front of the field. Is Cody Ware race trucks or O'Reilly Series? He's made some starts. Let's see. Oh, do we think over under 20 combined starts between trucks and O'Reilly? For Cody Ware. I'm going to Google the answer. You guys put your guesses in the chat. We think over under 20 combined Cup and O'Reilly and truck starts for Cody. Okay. I have the answer. All right. In the truck series, he ran a total of 7 career truck series races, starting in 2014, and his most recent truck start was all the way back in 2017 at Dover. And there's Ross Chastain coming in for his final pit stop of the afternoon. For the O'Reilly series, he ran races spanning from 2014 to as recently as running the Summer Atlanta race. Yeah, for a total of 29 races, which means he is just over the 35 mark. Yeah, back in the day, there was a lot more drivers kind of going through the ladder system, especially in kind of mid 2000s era. There we go. Gibbs out in front, Bell to second, and Blaney 6 seconds back. So now the question is Gibbs versus Bell. Who do we think gets it done here? And do we see another caution flag? Because we are 28. We're 18 laps away from the end of this one. Haven't had a caution all stage. Could we be seeing the run to the checkers here at Iowa? Ty Gibbs gets around Carson Hocevar. Hocevar now has Bell breathing down his neck. Gonna be looking for a pass here very shortly. There we go. Bell to the inside. Looks like he's gonna clear easy. Carson Ware is better than Cody Ware. Debatable. All right. Let's see. Carson Ware. Carson Ware has 22 total races between O'Reilly and trucks. And his best finish it doesn't tell me what his best single race performance was, so let's see. Looks like his best single race performance was in the number 30 car for back at Daytona in what year was that? That was the 2026 season. So Daytona of this year was Carson Ware's best race. So the only reason Carson Ware is not in Cup is because of the incident. I believe it's a plural there. I believe it's multiple incidents, not incident, but that's neither here nor there. But here we go. Bell is running down his teammate here, Ty Gibbs. Gibbs is only on 2 tires. Bell is on 4 fresh ones here. Ty Gibbs' best average finish in the Cup Series, and that finish is about to get better because a 3.0 average finish is going to be made better by a first or a second year as they continue to run gap blaney. And hey, we do have a shot at seeing these 3 again, though, for Hendrick Motorsports. Hendrick Motorsports is currently on a 3-race streak of having 0 drivers finish inside the top 10. Right now, William Byron is in position to potentially do just that. Yeah, I was about to say incidents. I was about to say, pretty sure I've seen Carson Ware's name on more than one police report, which is about more than one too many. And say, if we want to talk about guys who, if we want to talk about guys who have not been permanently suspended, I really do not understand how, who was it? Was it Taylor Gray who was Snapchatting and driving a ARCA car around Daytona International Speedway before he was even old enough to do it? NASCAR actually waived the rule of, okay, you have to be 18 to even drive a car at Daytona. And then all of a sudden, he's out there Snapchatting and driving. How? I definitely remember that happening to somebody. I don't remember if it was Taylor Gray or if it was I think it was Taylor Gray. I think it was the younger of the two Gray brothers. And then he ended up being involved in a single car automobile accident on his way to his first truck start, which was also not great. Again, both are harmless incidents and glad he was okay, obviously, but when you factor in the fact that he's a race car driver, probably should be able to avoid crashing a street car in normal conditions and should know not to Snapchat and drive when the series had to make an exception just to get you on the track for that practice session. Maybe, just maybe. So Ty Gibbs and Christopher Bell just went and lapped Connor Zilic, who's in 11th place, putting him a lap down, and now they're going around SVG, who's multiple laps down. Oh yeah, Daniel Dye has had multiple incidents too. Yep. I could say though that I think Daniel Dye's incidents are more minor on the scale of, okay, your perception as a racing car driver. Now, as an influence for kids, which I feel like almost any sports person probably shouldn't be, because a lot of them are pretty terrible people, I can at least understand how Daniel Dye is still getting some opportunities. Although if I'm a brand putting a big logo on your car, I might be a little bit concerned about the personality I'm signing up to be a brand partner with, but and he's close. Yeah, we got Bell on the back bumper of Gibbs here. White flag, 1 lap to go. Here we go. Can Christopher Bell get it done over Ty Gibbs to the back bumper? Looking inside, not going to get there on the back straightaway. Going to the outside of Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski being the blocker. Brad Keselowski may have just assisted this one for Ty Gibbs. Coming off a turn 4 at Iowa. Gibbs gets his his second career win. First win at Iowa. Bell comes home second. Third, Blaney. Fourth will be Barry. Fifth is where we're going to find Hamlin. Briscoe shortly behind him. Chastain. Is it going to be Allmendinger? Allmendinger! And Byron breaks a streak of top 10. Gets a top 10 for Hendrick to break the streak. There we go. Yep, Brad Keselowski just threw a big pick for the 54 car. Massive assist by the number 6 car. 2 short track wins for Gibbs this season. Yep. Hey, it's a great run there, and I like Ty Gibbs. I know he's not the most likable figure, and I know a lot of people don't like a lot of the Toyota drivers, most of them because they're Toyota drivers. But I don't know. I like Ty Gibbs. He's a great guy. Yeah, Josh Berry fourth is crazy. Obviously, if you guys just came for the race reaction, that is the end of the race. As per usual, though, we will go through the full finishing order. So if you want to hear where your favorite driver ended up finishing off, we will go through the full finishing order. But if you guys do just come for these race reactions, obviously this will be the end of it. Next week, I'm out of town on Saturday night when the race will be going on, so expect that there probably won't be a stream next week on this channel. Because I'm on Saturday I've got a wedding to go to, and on Sunday, say Ty's more talented than people give him credit for. But yeah, and then on Sunday I've got this little thing called turning 25 apparently that I need to do. So I might stream on the gaming channel. We'll see, but yeah, he did win his first O'Reilly start. Yep. But yeah. So again, next weekend is gonna be busy. Maybe a stream over on my gaming channel. Might be opening some packs of Pokemon cards, but I wouldn't expect something on the main channel next week. And then we'll see what we get, what we can put together for the race at New Hampshire, because we will be there in person. We'll try and get something together, but as per usual, we will go through the. Let's go ahead and get through the full finishing order. Of course, massive congratulations to Ty Gibbs on the win. Christopher Bell gets his 7th runner-up finish, 1 win away from tying Kyle Larson's record for second place finishes on the season without a win, and he still has 13 races to go. Yeah, to try and chase that record, a record he does not want to be chasing because he wants to win. Ryan Blaney comes home 6.5 6.25 seconds off the finish for Ryan Blaney in 3rd place. Josh Berry comes home 8 seconds off the lead in 4th. Denny Hamlin comes home 5th, 12 and a half off the leader. Briscoe coming home 13 short of the checkered flag in 6th. 7th will be Ross Chastain, 15 seconds short of the checkered flag. AJ Allmendinger 21.6 off of the checkered flag in 8th. 9th place will be William Byron, 21.9 off of the lead. And Austin Dillon rounds out a solid finish inside the top 10 with a 23.5 seconds off the leader. Also, congratulations to William Byron being the first Hendrick driver in a month to finish inside the top 10. So, congratulations with that 9th place finish. Connor Zilisch, the first driver to finish 1 lap down in this race. Then we got Bubba Wallace coming home. 12th, 13th will be Chris Buescher. 14th, Joey Logano. 15th, Chase Elliott. 16th, Zane Smith. 17th is where we find Noah Gragson after a fun run there in the middle of the race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. comes home 18th after a couple of incidents tonight. So good on Ricky for bouncing back. Only 1 lap down. John Hunter Nemechek a lap down in 19th. And Ryan Preece will round out our top 20 finishers. Riley Herbst comes home 21st. 22nd for Todd Gilliland. 23rd for Suarez. 24th, Ty Dillon. 25th is where we find Michael McDowell after he had a very promising middle run. Not sure what happened there near the end. My guess is pit crew messed something up, but we'll have to go back and see. Austin Hill comes home 26th. 27th for Brad Keselowski, who plays an absolutely massive pick there on the final lap and allows Ty Gibbs to get through unfazed. Yeah, Cole Custer in 28th place, the first guy 2 laps down. Austin Cindric, who is fighting for his life to stay in the playoffs, comes home 29th. That is going to be a rough one, 2 laps down. SVG finishes off in the 30th position, 2 laps off the pace. Carson Hocevar comes home 3 laps short of the checkered flag in 31st. Cody Ware, 32nd place, 3 laps off the pace as well. Kyle Larson comes home in 33rd position, the same number of laps down as his car number in the Indy 500, car 17 laps down. Then you got Alex Bowman, who was out of the race 156 laps short of the checkered flag. And then you've got Eric Jones and Tyler Reddick, who were both out of this race 346 laps apart from the checkered flag. So that is the full stage 2 ruined this race. I mean, stage 2 wasn't awful, but yeah, it was definitely the most caution-filled. But honestly, it was a great race. I enjoyed it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did you see Jimmy's using the 48? Yes, I have seen that. I'm not seen it as if Hendrick's going to switch back to the 48 for the rest of the season, or if they're going to kind of leave the 48 retired for that season outside of that one race for Jimmy. We'll have to wait and see on that one, I think. We'll have the Legacy Motor Club. Yeah, I mean, maybe Iowa's just not their track, but 7 wins for Joe Gibbs Racing this year. Yeah, that's insane. But until next time, it looks like that is it. I've caught up on all the chat, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys do enjoy these types of live streams, feel free to let me know by leaving a like, subscribing if you guys are new, so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. Again, my schedule for next week looks very rocky. No stream on Saturday. I've got a wedding to go to. I wonder how they'll do 248 cars in the NASCAR 27 game. Same way they've done it with when they've done like the Jeff Gordon legacy cars in the past, I assume. But yeah, so again, my schedule for next weekend, a little rocky. I've got a wedding on Saturday that I'm going to be at. Then Sunday, I've got this whole thing called Turning 25. So, yeah, we'll see what my schedule ends up looking like. I would assume no stream over here, but probably one on the gaming channel. But until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Live stream, whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody, and good